Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Oh, I'm hot as far as just still excited under the collar after that wonderful Saturday night performance we saw last night. We were recording this at 4:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, and in stark anticipation of what we hope to see tonight because we saw great things last evening.
If night 2 can live up to night 1, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. And what better person to go to with all the wrestling knowledge in the world than our boy Chris King. Chris, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Doing well. Chris, very excited to have you on here. Your picks were not as good as mine. Thank you very much. Not as good as Rod's, but we'll get there. Listen, where to begin? Let's start here. Hall of Fame ceremony. We've got to talk about that Undertaker ovation that lasted a good 8 or 9 minutes. He milked the last 1 or 2 minutes of it, but that was an amazing sight to see, wasn't it, Rod?
I really must admit I loved the Hall of Fame a little bit more than I thought I would. I knew of the Steiner brothers, but gained a little bit more appreciation from them. They cut a good highlight package there. I love seeing them come out on stage. You also saw the harm a career of professional wrestling could do on the body. Both of the Steiners were having some trouble getting up there to the microphone, right? And then I enjoyed seeing the other ones. And then, when Vince came out and his No Chance in Hell music dropped, and then Vince was kind of speaking from the heart, right? As close as we get to see the chairman for real. I was excited for that. Undertaker came out. You could hear on one of the hot mics where Undertaker just said, "I love you, man," when he hugged Vince. And then he did his 45 minutes, and it was awesome. I loved it.
He did his 45 minutes of preaching, which I thought was kind of interesting. That was kind of fun. You got to see Mark Calloway there, so that was great. And also, Braun Breaker is Rick Steiner's son, so that's kind of neat. We finally figured that out. We're allowed to say that now.
But they should just change his name then. I mean, when he makes his ultimate, appearance on the WWF main roster, he should just have Steiner in his name, I believe, because then that helps him out right from the start.
So let's get into Mania here because we got a lot to talk about now. Chris and Rod, I know you both don't really know the history in this, but WWE typically has the first match of WrestleMania being one of the main events, and they kind of do this in a lot of pay-per-views where they'll have a really solid high-profile match first and a really solid high-profile match the actual main event last. Typically speaking, other promotions, even UFC, they start with the undercard and build their way up. They kind of did that here, and I thought it worked. I liked the match order because it kind of started off slow as far as some things went, but then you really hit the big matches. Rod, what did you think of the match order, first of all?
I'm literally my eyes just bulged out right here because I hadn't even thought of it that way. But now that you present that to me, that's absolutely what they did yesterday, almost at an importance level. You know what I mean? And I guess I did kind of dig it, but the start there and then the ending of that match, I must admit, I had my daubers up like, oh no, are we in for a WrestleMania full of disappointment here after the way that first match ended? But thankfully, we just went up from there.
True. Chris, what did you think about the match order? Did it hold your interest?
Okay, so that's kind of how I expected it to be. Start off, low rung names, work your way up. I mean, each match should get more exciting to watch as you go on through the night, so you reach that crescendo at the end.
And that's usually, the WWE doesn't do what other places do. So I'm glad that you figured that out, that's how they should have done it. So let's talk about that first match. So the first match is you kind of have to throw it out. Usos against Shinsuke Nakamura and, what's the guy's name, Rod?
Rick Boogs. Oh, my knee.
For the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So this match was supposed to go another 8 or 9 minutes, and you can kind of see that's how the match was laid out, where it was kind of going slow, and then they were going to pick it up at the very end. It was going to start picking up when Rick Boogs was going to have both of the Usos on his back, but when that happened, his knee gave out, and they came back and said the patella and the quad both just destroyed. That's going to be a year. He was getting pumped. Rod, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
So we really think this is legit. We don't think
it's
this
legit.
is a work
it's 100%.
at all.
Yeah, it's legit because there was no reason to do this to be a work. There's no reason.
But there's no reason for them to do a lot of works they do, Jim. Like I'm not going to take that as an argument against it. Come on, how many times have you come on this podcast and say I have no idea why they did that? So I mean, that's not really an argument against it. You got to admit that.
there wasn't anything that they even referenced other than the guy got hurt. So yeah, this is
But
legit.
they didn't even do that when Big E really did get hurt, right? That's my other frame of reference.
Well,
here,
they
right?
thought he was going to die, so that's a little different. But I think,
guess, but they didn't make much reference. And then to be able to, the guy didn't even get carried out on a stretcher. And then to be able to know that quickly, I don't know, man. I just smelled work. But I guess if you're telling me it's not, then shout out to my guy Boog. Sorry to hear it.
I mean, I think so. Who knows? Anything can happen. Chris, what do you think of the first match up until that, and then with the Usos winning?
I really wasn't a fan of the Usos. Really, I do like saying Boogs. But you could tell that it was ended quicker than I think it was going to. Like you said, I wouldn't have been able to guess 8 or 9 minutes, but it just felt like it got rushed a little bit there at the end.
So then, in an astonishing change of events, they got all this extra time, and instead of just moving on with the show, they added more video packages. They added so many video packages throughout the night that the New Day, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus with Butch in the corner got cut from the show. That is extremely disappointing, and I'm assuming they're going to be on tonight's show. Hopefully they are. But this show seemed like a 2-hour and 45-minute show with all the rest video packages, and they did a 2-hour pre-show before that with all the same video packages. So, Rod, I wasn't a fan of all the video packages as I usually am. But actually, let me go to Chris real quick. Chris, did you appreciate the video packages because you had no idea what was going on?
Yeah, okay, so I will agree. I thought there was a lot, but it did help me out, getting me a little bit of the background of whatever storyline they were putting up there. So it was beneficial for me.
Fine. I guess they have to do it, right, Rod?
They do, but here's what I would say. They need to find a bit of a halfway between what you like and what I like, and then what Chris, and hopefully the idea of bringing in new viewers each time you have a premium live event, right? What you got to do is steer that traffic to your pregame show. Peacock would like that to be something. Peacock would like that to bring in viewers, be able to have numbers they can attach to that to get sponsors. So why not drive people to your pregame show and say, hey, check in, maybe not bloat it to 2 hours because that's asking an awful lot out of people, but you can accomplish a lot with all those video packages as an hour beforehand, stick a match in there and really make people watch it and then say, this is the only place you're going to get the video packages. That I think might be a little blend of both worlds.
Okay, that makes sense to me, for sure. Let's talk about Drew McIntyre and your boy Happy Corbin. Match kind of went exactly how we thought it was going to go, except for the very ending when Drew McIntyre almost decapitated Madcap Moss, broke the ring ropes with the sword. Rod, how'd you like the match?
Well, the match went exactly like as we predicted. You and I were right there. We saw some good moves out of Happy Corbin. We saw some good power moves out of Drew McIntyre. We saw him do his hop up from the canvas, Here's my thing, though. Here's what I want to say before we get to the sword thing at the end, because I actually think he wasn't trying to decapitate him. He was actually seeming like he was trying to slice him in half, like we see in cartoon shows.
Valid point. Yep.
But I'm worried, Jim. I'm worried about Drew McIntyre pops, and I think possibly the WWE is as well, and that's why we saw our mystery opponent later. But I just think you'd want to see the crowd buying Drew McIntyre a little bit more during some of those spots in that match than they did. And I wonder what Chris, a guy coming in from the outside, thinks of that.
Okay, so this is the first time as me seeing either of these guys. I have seen that Happy and that other doofus do promos before. But as far as like the match goes, I don't see the McIntyre guy as being a legitimate name. I mean, he wasn't getting the reaction from the crowd like Happy was, good or bad.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do. Well, I mean, listen, if you're not over, you're not over, so you can't make any excuses there. This is the 400th time we've seen this program go on, and we kind of all knew what was going to happen and what should have happened. I think one big thing was Drew did kick out of the end of days, which no one has ever kicked out of before.
That was clearly all they told him. They're like, this is the only thing we got that's going to make this difference, so make sure you guys really sell that. There's no doubt about that. Pretty much.
So, again, as Chris said, it's kind of ramping up. Next, let's talk about the tag match between Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. And I don't care what you say about Logan Paul. Holy cow. He did a great job.
I was thoroughly impressed. I was thoroughly impressed at Logan Paul's ability to carry himself in the ring. And the thing that I noticed, and I imagine that, maybe some of this gets trimmed away as you get better, but he seemed to really be taking it serious to make sure to keep everybody safe with all of those moves too. You could tell he was really making sure to cradle the head and get it in the right position. And that to me denotes care and dedication to, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it well. And it made me gain a little bit of more respect for Logan Paul.
And we're going to make sure that is part of our promos going forward, because I don't think anyone would have heard you say that. Chris, what did you think of Logan Paul?
I was so pissed about the result of this match, which I guess if you're making Logan Paul a heel, that's what you want. But, man, I wanted Mysterio to just beat on him a little bit more, make him bleed a little bit.
Well, yeah, so Logan Paul, awesome heel here. Does the Three Amigos. Very slow, very deliberate. Does a little Eddie Guerrero frog splash. Picture perfect, by the way. Yeah, but he and Miz get the win kind of out of nowhere. And then again out of nowhere, Miz turns on Logan Paul, and people are supposed to cheer Logan Paul against the Miz. Listen, people hate the Miz. I don't think they hate him that much. Rod, do you think this is going to work at all with Logan Paul being the babyface here?
Certainly not, but wait a minute. I thought the Mysterios won that match. What are you guys talking about? Did I mark my notes down wrong?
Yeah, you marked your notes down wrong. The Miz gave the skull crushing finale to Ray at the very end and got the pin.
Oh, so I'm actually beating you in our picks contest then, Jimmy.
I didn't want to say anything about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't. I see, and I had that wrong, so that's why I didn't lead with it. We should go back and re-record the podcast. I absolutely would have opened with my dominance over both you and Chris of being completely perfect on WrestleMania Saturday night. My goodness, I can't believe I missed. It's my guy, The Miz, as well. I can't believe I missed this. What was I doing during that match? You guys shouldn't ask me about anything that happened because clearly I was in another place.
Because they were giving the win to The Miz and Paul when The Miz, backstabbed him or whatever. That was the only redeeming part of the match after it was over.
When Logan Paul got the skull crushing finale.
Yep.
All right, now let's get nasty here, boys. Those next few matches are fantastic. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, brand new look, comes out with a pretty big entrance. Then Bianca Belair comes out with the entire marching band coming out with her. Terrific, hard-hitting match. Bianca got kicked in the face by a heel at one point. Back and forth. I loved every single part of this match. My kids were going crazy when Bianca Belair won at the very end. My daughter almost fell off a chair. It was extremely exciting. Very good match. This is storytelling. Bianca gets screwed over at SummerSlam, goes back, does a good job at the Rumble, and then finally gets her chance here at the title. She has main evented and won 2 WrestleManias. Not bad for someone who hasn't been in the WWE for very long, huh, Rod?
Yeah, I was very happy. I like the youngest or the eldest Jamriska, was jumping all around downstairs here at the Morgan studio headquarters as well. I was excited for the end of that match. I jumped up, I clapped. I'd been hoping the EST would gain her redemption at WrestleMania. I predicted as such, and apparently we should have known that she was going to win because my predictions were spot on. I was not wrong. I'm writing this to the end of this podcast now that I had no wrong predictions last night.
All right, Chris, women's wrestling. Your thoughts on the match, how it went? You're obviously not someone who's watched a lot recently. How do you think everything went?
I was impressed with the fast, frenetic pace that this match went. It started fast. It kept going. They got more and more technical, bigger rope work. It was a very impressive match.
Oh, yeah, that rope move that Bianca pulled off where she, jumped and threw Becky down, and then that was incredible, man. That was good stuff out of Bianca Belair, because we've seen the power moves from her before, but some of that rope work, you're right, Chris, was impressive by her.
Yeah, it was. She's great. She's terrific, and we've got to see where it goes from now on. I think they're going to probably have one more match at WrestleMania Backlash.
Please do not give the belt right back to Becky Lynch at Backlash. Please, WWE, if anyone who is involved in storytelling, please do not just take it right back from Bianca here, because I worry we could see that.
Yeah, we could, but I really think they need to give Bianca some room to breathe there. Asuka's coming back. Hopefully Bayley's coming back, so she might have a couple more opponents than just Becky. And then we have...
Really? You're giving me the Princess of Tomorrow or Bayley coming back soon? Do you have information I don't?
I think
Empress of Tomorrow, excuse me.
I think they'll be back this week, probably.
All right.
So
I'm
cool.
excited. I'm excited. Let's put a jolt in the arm of the women's division as well because, we had to end to quite a few stories here.
The next match was amazing on so many levels. I think the most amazing thing was, what was your boy wearing, Rod? Seth Rollins. And I'm saying that knowing what Seth Rollins has worn in the past. I don't know what he had.
Yeah, that was kind of like a tunic thing. I don't know if
he
was
borrow it
for
from Becky? Like, what was that?
And I was like, I don't know if he was thinking that maybe it was a bit of a Game of Thrones kind of feel to it, right? The color scheme seemed off for him. I don't know, man. It was maybe because he wanted to look a little bit different in all the highlights they're going to show him getting over or letting somebody get over, right? Maybe he didn't want to look as resplendent knowing he wasn't going to win. I don't know, but it was not my guy's finest hour, but it actually was my guy's finest hour for those of us that know the wrestling business inside and out, because he did everything you needed to do to make sure that our surprise mystery guest was a huge deal, and it definitely was.
So in the worst kept secret in wrestling, the lights go out. Everyone's waiting for something bad to happen. Then all of a sudden, there's more than one first family in wrestling. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and a couple huge things about this. Number one, entrance, terrific. Everyone knew who he was. It's the exact same entrance he did in AEW, exact same music, everything the same. People went absolutely crazy for him. Chris, as someone who does not know everything about wrestling, how was the entrance? How was the anticipation? Did you feel that it was something special?
So I had no idea who this was.
Sure.
No idea what to expect. I believe I texted you guys and asked, who is this dude?
And I believe I responded with, how dare you?
Right. It was a good entrance, I thought. I won't deny him that. Once you told me he was Dusty Rhodes' kid, that gave me a little bit of knowledge there that then I knew my pick that he'd end up winning this match.
The jab, Jim. The jab.
Yes.
Come on, we got to talk about the jab. That was incredible, man. Like the instant that he hit the jab that way, everybody in the crowd knew what it was, and it was. I'm sure it felt really special to Cody Rhodes.
Well, and he did an interview like literally after he got back into the back on the ringer, and he was definitely choked up with that, because he said that first jab, when people went crazy for it, he almost lost it there. But yeah, he gives two crossroads to Seth Rollins, picks him up for a third, kind of lets go a little bit, does the jabs, hits him with the bionic elbow that his dad always did. That was one of Dusty Rhodes' signature moves. Gives him the final crossroads, gets the pin. There is so much that happened in this match. Kicking out at every finisher, pedigree finisher, which that was a little close there. I thought it was a terrific match. They did a suplex outside. That you don't see that very often, Rod. The suplex from the inside the ring to outside the ring on each other. That was dangerous. A lot of dangerous spots. But I think if we're going to talk about match of the night here in a minute, but that was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good match. And Rod said it last night. The crowd didn't know what to think at first. They were a little bit stunned because this was like some old school ring work that I didn't think you'd see too much of anymore.
It's definitely. I sent an immediate text because you know how I like to rub it in people's face every once in a while, Jim. That's not going to be shocking to we know listeners here. But I sent an immediate text to our guy, Gig Guy Warner, and I was like, "Hey man, you better check out WrestleMania because an AEW match just broke out. These dudes are doing some old school wrestling in the ring, and it was something special, man. Seth Rollins, shout out to my guy. The way he was wobbling so he could pull off the last punch, and just he got Cody Rhodes over so well, but only being a guy as big as Seth Rollins, could you then be able to get somebody over that well? So it's just that it's a lot of work that it takes to get Seth Rollins to be able to do that, and I'm impressed by it. And I of course have to shout my guy out.
Oh yeah, he did a terrific job. It was an amazing match. So amazing, in fact, that I was certain that the tag team match was going to follow that, because there's no way you want to put Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey in a position to follow that match. So the next match was Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. And apparently Ronda was very pissed that she was not going on last. She was informed that she wasn't a couple days before, because they've changed their mind a lot on this. But Flair and Rousey, they had some good moments. but it was exactly kind of what I said it was going to be. It was kind of underwhelming. It was the only underwhelming finish to the entire night, where the ref is out, the ref gets back up, Rousey's distracted, a boot to the face pins her. It's setting up for a submission match, I'm sure. There was a lot of cool things that happened. There really was, Chris, but what'd you think about this one?
I really didn't want to see either one of these women win. Is that weird?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, fine. I didn't really want to see either one of them win.
Rod's pissed at you, but you're fine.
I didn't want to see Rousey get over. I'm not a big Flair guy, so Charlotte Flair. I mean, I will say this: you can tell that Charlotte knows what she's doing in the ring, but I wasn't rooting for her to win either.
Thank you. You redeemed yourself a little bit there by at least homaging to the Queen's talent. So that was good work by you there. But yeah, no, I mean, Jimmy, you talk about this so often, right? I mean, the WWE has it in their head that somehow Ronda gets to save face a little bit if you have that bit of a schmoz ending there, right? And I don't really know that in the days that we all are wrestling fans now, if that's absolutely necessary, right? I think we end up just being more mad that that's the ending you decide to come up with rather than just telling us a story. Because like you said, we can easily have another match with these women and it'll be fine. And you're right, too. It was a bit of a spot fest. It was clear that they were trying to move to, all right, we got to get this in. We got to get this in. We got to get that in. So, but I must admit, Ronda pulled off a few more wrestling, and I'm doing quotation here, moves than I thought she would, right? So that sort of impressed me. It was one of my favorite Ronda matches, but I think, Jimmy, you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said a tad bit underwhelming. Yeah,
you hadn't seen Ronda do what she can do, and there was some really good wrestling in this one. I loved the Boston Crab on the top rope, which really didn't look the best, but then when Ronda just kind of did a sit-up and said, ain't happening, that was kind of cool there. But yeah, at the very end, it is what it is. They were in a very tough spot because the crowd was electric for that match beforehand.
Yeah,
and then,
definitely. But they kept him up. They did. They kept him up, right? Charlotte is just, she has a way of keeping a crowd amped, right? They're all amped at her, but she at least has a way of keeping that electricity up.
And then, in Kevin Owens' last appearance ever, because he can never, ever top what just happened, the KO show ended WrestleMania. And as we talked about last week, I thought it was going to be a little bit more than just, some stunners and beers and all that stuff. They had a match, and it's interesting because we both kind of thought of this at the same time, Rodwin, and then you texted me about it. We have to think about this. Austin and Owens were out there for about 10 to 15 minutes talking, and then they started their match. Well, if you're 50-some years old and haven't wrestled in 19 years, you need to warm up. So that first 10 minutes or so was him warming up, and you could tell he was extremely slow. But Austin had his last match at WrestleMania in the main event against Kevin Owens and took a couple really hard bumps. It wasn't a 5-star match, but it's exactly what it needed to be, wasn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I remember saying to Mrs. Morgan, who was watching it with me, I was like, oh my God, they're ringing a bell, right? Like, I mean, that was I talked beforehand about how I wanted to see an actual match, how that would make it feel more grand and not just a cheap nostalgia play, which of course it is, but having it be a regular match with some real spots taken by the Rattlesnake would just make it feel so much better. And I mean, I left WrestleMania Saturday on a complete cloud 9 high. I mean, the glass breaking, that cloud going nuts. I mean, all the beers. I mean, Stone Cold drank almost a case of beer. Now, how much beer did he actually get out of each beer that he slammed down? I don't know. That's debatable. Maybe only 6 or 7 beers, but that's still probably 6 or 7 beers in like 25 minutes that guy drank while beating the hell out of Kevin Owens. It was amazing.
And him throwing Kevin Owens, or when Kevin Owens was trying to leave on the four-wheeler, and Austin comes behind him. That was great. Chris, Bud, I know that you weren't able to watch all of this live, but how was this for you, Bud?
So, as I said last time, I'm an Attitude Era guy. And so this was the best thing that could have happened for me as a wrestling fan that hasn't been around for a while, is seeing somebody that I used to love watching. And it was fantastic. It was everything I want. And listen, Stone Cold needs that lager. Like, that loosens him up. That's what warms him up. He gets better the more he gets down.
All right.
That's actually a good call, Chris. Maybe he's like, I got to get a couple beers even before I take this back body drop onto the concrete.
That's exactly right. You better have 6 beers deep before you decide to take it out into the crowd.
And there was really no way that, especially knowing this now, and I've heard some people talk that Austin might have made this decision to actually have this go this way in the last couple of days just to kind of see how he felt and everything, because he didn't want to go out bad. He did not go out bad at all. He went out very, very good. Kevin Owens,
under promise and overperform, right, Jim? There's a classic case of that here,
and that's what they did. And Kevin Owens, credit to him, he took a lot of bumps, a lot of heat in there. He gave Stone Cold Steve Austin a stunner, which that was kind of surprising that Austin took a stunner, kicked out of it. I believe Chris was very close on the stunners.
We had 3 exactly when Byron Saxton decided to come into the ring thinking that he was going to get a celebration.
That was
the story behind that is Byron Saxton always takes stunners very well, and you can see why, because he took a stunner very well there. So yeah, Chris, good job on that.
Yeah, I was closer. Listen, he sold it too, because he laid still on that mat for a good 5-10 minutes after, not moving.
And then Austin's brother comes in, and we're all like, is he going to really stun his brother too? But he didn't do that. As soon as that music hit and he came out and he had both knee braces on, it was on. And that was really neat. That's the way you send people home from WrestleMania. Can you imagine that not going on last? And the Ronda Rousey-Charlotte Flair match going on last with that ending? Can you imagine that?
Yeah, we'd had some few more angry Twitter comments at the end of WrestleMania last night, whereas everything was just on fire with Cody Rhodes was back and he's awesome. Stone Cold Steve Austin was awesome. I mean, everybody was just
the women's championship match was awesome. Yeah. Logan Paul did great. There's a lot of things that came out of night one. Overall, very good show, very long show. It's going to be about 9 hours of wrestling, I think, just in the on the main show alone. We should mention before we talk about a couple more things about WrestleMania. Braun Breaker did not win the NXT Championship against Dolph Ziggler, so Ziggler retained the championship. Is Breaker coming up on Monday? We'll see this week. And then also Tommaso Ciampa had his last matchup, and Triple H came out at the very end of his match, and they hugged and they kissed, which was kind of weird. A lot of hugging, a lot of kissing, but it was really the end of an era there, because he was kind of the last person down there. So I think he's going to the main roster, which will be pretty cool for sure. All right, Chris, match of the night. What was your favorite?
It was Stone Cold. There's no question about it.
Wonderful.
They saved the best for last. It may not have been the longest, but it's by far the best. You had no holds bar. You had tables, chairs, crowd. It was fantastic. And yes, a lot of beer, and still you get the grandfather clock.
Yes, you have. It's amazing how you always talk at the top of the hour. Always, no matter what podcast, no matter what time we do, you talk at the top of the hour. Rod, what was your favorite match?
I'm going to go with a match that I think is just very, very important for hopeful long-term storytelling, the way that we talk about on this podcast so often, right? If I'm to be correct that Drew McIntyre is not over enough to become the big new babyface to take down the heel Roman Reigns, perhaps we saw the appearance of that babyface last night at WrestleMania, wrestling against my guy, Seth Rollins, who did a Rushmore-like performance, right? When we did our Rushmore episode, we talked about how professional wrestling has so many different aspects to it, and the value of a loss, and the value of getting a guy over, and the value of knowing how to work a crowd. Seth Rollins put all of that on display last night, so I'm going with that as my match of the year, or of the night.
Match of the year, wow. Okay, match of the night there for Rollins and Rhodes. It's between that and the Becky Lynch-Bianca Belair match, and I think I'm going to go Rollins and Rhodes as well, but I mean, it's a 1 and 2 right there. Both of them were fantastic. I think Rollins and Rhodes were great. Nostalgia Act with Kevin Owens and Steve Austin was also fantastic. So great show overall. I think they did it right by putting that on last. I thought the card order was terrific. You just need to break those video packages down just a little bit. So, Chris, what are you looking forward to most tonight?
I want to see McAfee and I want to see Lesnar.
Okay, McAfee and Lesnar are your two. Rod?
I'm going to go real selfish and real podcast inner workings here. We have different picks, Jimmy, you and I, in the tag team matches this evening, right? Okay. So that will tell the tale of our picks contest. If I'm to be believed, the fact that I was perfect last night, tonight you're going to see Omos, AJ Styles, Rhea and Liv, Johnny Knoxville, Austin Theory, Alpha Academy, and Roman Reigns, if I'm to be correct. But if those tag matches go a different way, perhaps you can come on and crow about actually having the most correct picks, Jimmy.
I want Edge and AJ Styles to be a terrific 25-minute match. I'm a little nervous it's going to be a very good 40-minute match, but I think Edge and AJ Styles is going to be really good. I can't wait to see that. And then Lashley and Omos, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Which way are they going to go with that? Are they going to build for the future or stay with the past? And then finally, I think Lesnar and Reigns is going to be fantastic. So yes, I answered 3 questions to my 1. But that's going to do it for this half of the podcast. And gentlemen, I'll see you in about 7 hours for recapping the Sunday night. Does that sound good?
That'll work for me. Mr. King, you excited to come back and do this one more time with us on the Yeah We Know podcast?
I cannot wait.
All right, well, we will see you here in just a little bit. All right, we are back. We are fresh off Sunday, WrestleMania. Rod, what are you hot about now?
I'm hot because I got to hear my favorite theme song of all time. Honestly, the theme song that I would pop the hardest for if I was ever live, and it dropped. And I just have to remind everybody, the chairman, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, is 76 years old, and he got in the ring and a bell rung, Jimmy. I was freaking out.
Chris, I as someone who loved the night one's Austin, you must have just been on the ground crying with this one, right?
Oh, it was fantastic. And Austin had a smile on his face the entire time. He was loving every second of it. Well, it was fantastic. He gave Vince another stunner, maybe the worst stunner ever, but still a stunner. It was fantastic.
And like I said in our group chat, Vince McMahon is known for not ever being able to take a stunner, and he took the worst stunner ever, and you can see Austin cracking up laughing after that, because I don't know what happened. McMahon lost his step, whatever. But that was honestly, before that, Austin Theory sold the stunner. That was a top 5, top 10 stunner. McAfee's selling of the stunner was fantastic. Listen, if you're going to send people home happy, that's a good way to send people home happy. And there was still a unification match to go. I loved it, Rod.
Well, and also the thing we don't think about, and you point this out quite often because you have been to far more live WWE events than I have, but if you're somebody who bought tickets for WrestleMania and you happen to just be able to get Sunday, how mad might have you been that you didn't get the chance to see Undertaker or Stone Cold? So we both should have smelled that they were probably going to make an appearance on Sunday as well.
Exactly. So if you, and 2 unannounced matches, think about this. They were unannounced. Austin Owens, they got to see Austin's last match. And now the people on Sunday probably got to see Vince McMahon's last match ever and a stunner to McMahon. Unbelievable. They did a great job with that. And 2 days of WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday, I think both went great. Chris is a novice.
Jimmy, I got to say this. Jimmy, I got to say this. I can't help but think, right, what we know about Vince McMahon, a little bit chesty, a little bit egomaniacal, right? Gets to put Cody Rhodes on his WrestleMania product, gets 2 big, huge days. Why not go out, put a tank top on, and prove to everybody you're still a badass, right? Come on, if that's not Vincent Kennedy McMahon, I don't know what is.
And everything that is Vince happened tonight. Especially the fact that he can't and was never able to wrestle. Those clotheslines were horrible. McAfee did a good job selling those. I don't know if I totally agree with the way they beat McAfee, because I don't know if you know this, Chris. McAfee, I think, is most over in the company right now besides Stone Cold Steve Austin. Chris, could you imagine the crowd cheering for him?
That I was really unexpected. Like, they were chanting and singing his music when he was obviously not in control of anything, nor on his way to control anything. I was shocked the crowd was so behind him. I was shocked with some of the moves he was able to pull off. Like, he had some agility out there. He had some moves. It was a spectacular and fun match.
Yeah, Rod, I don't think you were watching as much around this time either, but McAfee had 2 really big matches in NXT. One was against Adam Cole, and then one was against Adam Cole and his tag team partners in a War Games match. So he has done some of those moves before. They just couldn't show anything on the previews because Adam Cole and all his other teammates are in AEW right now. But yeah, that leap to the second rope, he's done before, and as someone who saw that the first time, it's still unbelievable he can do that. He's more agile than a lot of people realize. Rod.
Yeah, I was completely impressed with that leap to the top rope like that. I don't know that I'd ever seen that anybody, in the ability to just spread your legs out enough to be able to just land on the ropes and immediately gain your balance. Clearly, Austin Theory was grabbing and helping him a little bit, but that's part of the whole wrestling sports entertainment deal right there. But I was way impressed with McAfee, and absolutely, Jimmy, I'm going to agree with you. I think the biggest pops of the weekend were Stone Cold Steve Austin and Pat McAfee, and I don't know if that's great for the WWE long-term storytelling.
Well, and it's funny because the way they beat McAfee, that was really weird. I was like, what are you doing? And then when McMahon kind of did this, oh no, when the music hit, and it was Austin Theory's music, we're like, wait a minute. And then Austin's music hit. Then you kind of figured, okay, that's why they did all that. They could have done a couple other things other than that to get there. The only thing I would have changed, honestly, have Theory beat up McAfee more to give McMahon that, because that punt to the gut was, it was a nice throwback to the punt that McAfee did before. But again, that was an amazing turn of events. It really was.
There were a few turn of events that I was rather surprised by on this card.
Yeah, so let's go to the main event here real quick. Main event: Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, unification match. Hard hitting. They basically each of them did 2 moves each, I think, the entire time. It ended kind of quick. It was kind of a weird ending with the ref going down. I love the fact that Roman was playing up that his shoulder was out of socket. I thought that was a good idea. I love that he pulled the championship belt up very slowly with that left arm. But Lesnar is your tribal chief, Lesnar is your tribal chief. Reigns is your tribal chief. He is in God mode. He is. It had to happen that way. I kind of wanted Lesnar to win, honestly, which I don't think I'd ever say that before. But Rod, what'd you think of the championship match?
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe we were going to see a little bit more of something that might get people a little more angry, a little bit more like, oh my God, what are we doing, when that referee went down? But he thankfully came back to his senses rather quickly. And so, yeah, I mean, you try to make Lesnar look good. He's got to take a shot to the undercarriage. He's got to take a belt to the face to actually go down, right? He's got to take 3 different Superman punches. He's got to take a running spear. So you do all that stuff. So he's still the alpha male of our species, to quote one Pat McAfee there. But ultimately they call this the greatest main event of all time, but we all knew exactly what was going to happen. We just all knew exactly what was going to happen. I know Chris picked Lesnar before this preview pod, and God bless him for that. But we all knew Roman Reigns has been their boy. He's been their boy for a long time, and they just have nothing on the horizon. So why not just continue to crown Roman Reigns? And we saw just that.
Chris, how did you like these 2 big boys going after each other?
I wanted more.
Yeah,
I thought.
Well, that's a Lesnar match, though. That's a Lesnar match, Chris. That's what you get.
I understand. I still wanted at least another 15 minutes. I was much more into the match before it. It doesn't hurt when you have Stone Cold come out and stun everybody and drink another case of beer. So
we've been conditioned, Chris, to this is how long Lesnar matches go, even a little shorter sometimes. Roman Reigns can go. He can go as long as he needs to. He kind of wrestles to the competition, and just kind of that's why he's.
He really does. That's a great description for Roman, Jimmy. That's a great description for him. Wrestles to the competition. He'll wipe the floor with the guy if he needs to, or he'll just go forever if he needs to.
Exactly. So, it is what it is. You have to have Lesnar go through a barricade as well. Heyman did a great job. Nice little push of the rope so Reigns could get it. So we've got Reigns on both shows moving forward for a little while anyway. Another match that, well, Rod, I want to go right to you on this. Did you see the Pitbull? Did you see the AJ Styles that people have been talking about?
I did. I was rather impressed with this match. I really was. I kind of was surprised we didn't get a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd, kind of as boisterous as I thought might occur at some point during that match. But I really was impressed with it, and I liked what I saw out of AJ Styles. I saw the guy that everybody talks about. He is an absolute tactician, and he's just really good at selling the pacing of a match. And that's something that I'm starting to notice more and more of as I'm watching more and more matches and becoming more and more of, I'm going to use quotation again here, expert, right? I'm noticing that the pacing of a match is really, really important, and Edge and AJ Styles put a clinic on as far as pacing goes.
I'm so proud of you. Now, Chris, this is one of the more traditional matches on the card today. Yesterday was a lot of the more traditional wrestling matches, and today's card was just a lot of random stuff going on. Did you enjoy the Edge and AJ Styles match?
I did, more so than some of the matches before it, of course. I like Edge. He looks a little old. He really put it all out there. He did do a good match.
That's rich coming from you. I'm sorry, I got to jump in, but that's rich coming from you.
Yeah,
the grandfather clock went off 6 minutes ago, so we won't get that now.
I'm not trying to be in a ring with a bunch of other dudes either, wrestling around, but he did. He looked a little old to me, but it was a good match.
Well, Edge, we saw. I think the one weird thing was the Damian Priest standing out there. I do like the fact that AJ didn't take 15 minutes to say, "Oh my goodness, what's going on? Look over there," and then lose. And it was only a half a second, but that did cost him the match. I think you could have gotten there without Priest before the. That's
the point.
Plan.
That's the point, Jimmy. Because sort of, I'm about Priest and Edge. It makes sense, right? They kind of have two oeuvres that make sense to me. I'm all about factions, but yeah, we could have just had the match end and then Priest comes out, right? And then they celebrate. It doesn't have to be him for the distraction.
And it might be more than just Priest, too. So there could be a new group forming here, which would be good. Edge can do the talking, and the people, whoever are with him, can do most of the wrestling there. So I think that'll be good moving forward. Where to next? Let's go to the...
Let's go to the match of the night. No, let's go to the match of the night. Come on.
You want to go to the match of the night?
I know you guys want to go.
So we have Omos and Lashley now. All right. Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. I don't know what to say about this, except this was sports entertainment at its finest. Sami Zayn, unbelievable character. Johnny Knoxville did a great job. Wee Man did a fantastic job.
That slam was incredible.
Slam was incredible. Very good slam there by Wee Man. And again, Sami Zayn gets a lot of props for that as well. Pontius, the
party boy.
My children got to see a lot there. I thought it was a fun match. The the mousetrap at the end. Sure, why not?
Didn't work very well, though, did it?
It did not work very well, but Johnny Knoxville, being the pro that he is, fixed it and got it taken care of there. I think Sami Zayn is still underneath that mousetrap. Chris, did you like this match at all, Chris, or was this just not your thing at all?
Okay, so first off, I am so pissed at myself. When we did the pre-WrestleMania show, I thought Knoxville was in there to get thrown around, beat up, and he would lose. I really thought that. I am so upset that I didn't foresee the rest of the Jackass crew coming out and helping with all kinds of gimmicks, just like they did. I should have seen something to that effect. I was real happy to see the big hand. That Wee Man slam.
That was hilarious.
The Wee Man slam was phenomenal. Him cowering in the corner from Party Boy was hilarious. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it.
I did like when they brought the table of mousetraps out. You could clearly see that none of the mousetraps were set, which is a good thing. You don't want those to be set. That's a good thing there. I think everything went well. They did a good job, and it got the crowd involved. You got to give it to this crowd. And by the way, they announced 77,000, but the graphics said 78, which means, again.
Notice that, did you?
Worked a number there, but you've got to imagine that 75 to 80%, even maybe more, of the people that were there on Saturday were there on Sunday, and they were alive throughout the show again tonight. They did a great job, don't you think, Rod?
Oh, yeah, I think the WWE Universe was on a full display this weekend because the other big story we talked about in the Saturday wrap was the Undertaker's Hall of Fame ceremony and the ovation that was given to him, right, which was already after a 2-hour SmackDown. So clearly the Dallas crowd and the people that came from all over the country, the WWE Universe, to show up for the biggest wrestling weekend of the year comported themselves rather well because, yeah, that energy was awfully high because they were still pretty darn fired up by the end of that Roman Reigns match, and we're talking about 8 hours of wrestling at that point.
Yes, and in 8 hours of wrestling, they were able to get 2 minutes of the New Day versus Ridge Holland Sheamus, with Butch in the corner. I think Sheamus was on more commercial time than he was in wrestling, but he did get a very huge pop when his music hit because everyone wanted them to wrestle because that's not cool if you get cut. It was really a nothing match. The New Day. What's the New Day's gimmick, Rod? What did you say?
Oh, I mean, I love the New Day's history. I'm steeped enough to understand that, and they tell me how many times they've been tag team champions, but at this point, the New Day exists to get smashed, and they did their job very well once again.
And the rabid dog, Butch, just wanted to rip out Xavier Woods' braids, his mouth. It was that was kind of fun. He was trying to headbutt his partners, too. I thought that was interesting. Anything to add to this, Chris?
No, you could tell it was kind of a quick little throwaway match.
Yeah. In another match that went longer than I thought it would and had an ending that I did not think it would, Lashley versus Omos. Well, Omos is dead. Omos is done. His mystique is gone. He's just a guy who got beat by Lashley now. Lashley gets the win. Didn't really do the standing vertical suplex, but did do a suplex, to which my son goes, how is that possible? I mean, Jackson was stunned that he was able to suplex him. I said, Jackson, you could suplex me easily right now if you wanted to. It's all about the other guy doing it. Rod, I guess Omos is not really going to do much moving forward, and Lashley's going to be one of your contenders.
Listen, first off, Jackson is my guy because I had the same exact reaction. I looked over at the Mrs. Morgan, and I was like, wait a minute, how's he even able to do that to Omos? So Jackson Jamriska, you're my dude. I had the same exact thought when the almighty Bobby Lashley, who had a bit of a tweak to his entrance music, right? So I kind of felt like maybe that's a bit of a turn to possibly a more face Bobby Lashley, right? And shout out to my guy Mark Allen, who I was getting some communication with during the WrestleMania, and as I said to him in a message, somebody is going to need to be primed and ready to take over one of the two belts when they finally decide to take one of the two away from Roman Reigns, and why not that be the Almighty?
Yeah, it definitely could be there. Chris, how did you like this big match with these two guys here?
So I know I picked Lashley, kind of sight unseen. I didn't realize Old Boy was a huge dude.
I love it. As opposed to all the other matches you picked where you did a lot of research and watched hours of tape.
Listen, his description of Omos right there, that's basically his entire character, so Chris is spot on about Omos.
So, saying that, if I would have known beforehand who was going in there, I still would have picked Lashley. You always tend to see the big dudes, the heel, always taking an L to the smaller guys, especially like in pay-per-views. At least that's what I remember from back in the day. I remember Triple H did it once to had Rey Mysterio, and he took the down to Rey Mysterio to kind of set an example. So in big pay-per-views, I always take a little guy like that.
Little guy. Bobby Lashley's the little guy.
Yeah,
in this match he was. In this match he was.
So we had a pretty good women's tag team championship match here. Carmella, Queen Zelina, Sasha, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Shayna Baszler. I thought it was a fine match overall, and Sasha Banks and Naomi get the win.
Fine.
Fine with me?
Fine.
Yeah.
I continue to be perplexed by what we're doing with the tag team in the women's division, Jimmy. I continue to be perplexed with what we're doing. I continue to be perplexed with what we're doing with Rhea Ripley. I continue to be perplexed with the outfit choices and the makeup choices of Rhea Ripley.
She's Batman.
I'll tell you, listen, you stand her in the ring with all those other women, and it's clear that she should be the one dominating. And so the WWE is struggling with the way to not have her be dominant, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand it.
Well, both Charlotte and Bianca need people to fight against right now. And Rhea Ripley did not win the tag team championship. Sasha Banks and Naomi did, so it's not going to be those two. So Rhea might be able to, do something, but I kind of think they're going to go with the tag team championships there with Banks and Naomi. Chris, what do you think of this one?
That match was just way too confusing.
Valid point.
It really was.
You couldn't determine how or who people were tagging in and not out, and it was just, you never knew what was going on or who had to do what to win. I couldn't keep up. There's some good moves, but like the whole how does somebody win was just way too confusing for me.
And in another match that was a little confusing for me too, because triple threat matches generally don't have DQs. So why would you stand outside and wait for tags? But everyone did. RK Bro, Street Profits, and Alpha Academy. 3 terrific teams. really good way to start things off with. Thought it was a solid match. RK Bro, as I said, I didn't.
You did. I got to give you props on that one, Jimmy. You spotted this one. We're all just too anxious for the Riddle Randy Orton breakup, and you continue to be the modicum of calm and say, guys, we're not there yet.
I got to get some things right. So RK Bro gets the win. RKO out of nowhere.
That Riddle's RKO though was
Riddle's
impressive.
RKO was fantastic. Yeah, that was great as well. I loved it. Chris, was this your cup of tea to start the night off?
Yeah, I thought that was a good match. I mean, there's a lot of action. You got to see Gable, the new guy, do a little bit of work in the ring, very little bit. So I thought it was a good match. It was fun.
Yeah, and as Chris said, Gable Steveson comes in to get some some drinks afterwards, and then Chad Gable comes in and gets hugged for a couple seconds and then thrown over, and we'll see, Gable. You know, good. We'll see.
But Jimmy, you give him such guff about being low energy. At least seemed excited to be there, right? And was at least
he was better today.
Better today.
Yes, better today for sure. Better today for sure.
I'm about it. I continue to say Gable Stevenson's name just at random times for all predictions, and I'm a little bit mad at myself for not just throwing one out here at WrestleMania and then being able to be proven right. But in our picks contest, which I didn't do as well tonight as I did on Saturday, so that's why I haven't brought it up yet. But ultimately, I am the grand champion with 9 out of 14 matches predicted correctly.
Congratulations. At least one of us won, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there was a risk there at one point where Chris was going to take us down, and that's just bad for the brand. As funny as it is, it's bad for the brand.
All right, let's go match of the night. Chris, what's your match of the night?
Mine was definitely the Pat McAfee match. Me being a fan of his outside of wrestling made me much more invested. The fact that he won, the fact that he was in the ring with Vince McMahon, which I called on our chat beforehand, and you guys thought I was crazy.
That's true.
I believe, Rod, you had one of your, he's 76, what are you talking about? Yeah, well, it happened.
And then that also brought out Stone Cold. Fantastic. The shot of McAfee on the ground after he got the stunner, still drinking another beer, was hilarious. He got on the mic and was calling his own match, which was fantastic.
That was strong.
It was fun. It was fantastic. By far, I was standing up during that match.
McAfee will be a gift for life with that drinking, and also taking the stunner as well. But that drinking, he will be a gift for life. So enjoy that one. Rod, what is your match of the night?
Well, I gave it away a little earlier, but I'm just going to go with the Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville match because I just think that, like, so often the WWE is famous for all of the celebrities they have pulled in for action, right? And we saw Logan Paul comport himself very well on Saturday. We saw Pat McAfee, who I guess is, you know, a little more connected to the WWE universe than everybody else, but he still gets credit for being a celebrity who comported himself well in the ring. And Johnny Knoxville, right, who comported himself well in a whole other way, right? I don't think he had nearly the technical skill that Logan Paul or McAfee has pulled off, but he figured out a way to still make it entertaining. He's figured out a way to still make it believable, and that was maybe the most fun I had outside of all of the storylines that I have invested time in paying off at this WrestleMania, so I got to give it credit.
All right, so as the wrestling purist, I really should go with Edge and AJ Styles here, but I actually think it was the McAfee theory was my favorite match of the night.
Wow. AJ Styles is so mad at you right now, Jimmy.
I know. But let's. I mean,
all of the age, all of your guys, all your Meltzer newsletter guys, like all of you wrestling purist guys right now, Jimmy. I'm so the dark side to you right now, taking you away from your pure wrestling roots, aren't I?
Well, I think the match of the weekend, though. Well, yeah, and Chris, go ahead. I didn't want to jump step on.
Yeah, the crowd during that McAfee fight.
That's a good point. Was
phenomenal, start to finish. They were louder than what they were for most of the night before. And then it even got louder once Vince got in the ring, and then Stone Cold came out. Like, it was, the crowd helped that match so much.
Yeah, if this is WrestleMania from 2 years ago, I think AJ and Edge definitely win it. But the crowd does help a lot, and they did really help that match. Now, I think match of the weekend still goes to Cody and Seth. I think that for me is that, and then Bianca,
which is important.
And Becky second. So
that's important. Yeah. If Cody is the match of the weekend, that's important for momentum moving forward for the WWE, and that's a good thing.
Overall, I think this is the best WrestleMania weekend we've had in so long. It's not even funny. Coming out of both shows, I think it was a fun show. Both of them were fun, and I really enjoyed them.
So as a guy that came in, watched WrestleMania, saw Roman Reigns beat up Lesnar. You know, Lesnar is an aged veteran. He's not going to be around week to week, month to month. Who do we see coming up and being the challenger for Reigns? Like, who do you guys see? Is it going to be Rhodes? Is it going to be Lashley? What do you guys see?
Well, Lashley's on Raw, so that's going to be difficult to be his challenger for Reigns. But I believe in Jimmy.
Well, Reigns is on both. Reigns is on both now. Remember,
for now. But but you've tipped your hand at this at some point that the WWE isn't going to rock with this unified champion for too long, right? So then at some point the decision is going to be made to send a belt to some other show. So I guess it kind of depends on where Cody Rhodes is going to go, right, Jimmy? That would be my answer.
Interesting. If they want to put him straight to the top, yeah, they could do that. But
don't you think they want to? Because that's almost what AEW's done, right? Like, don't you feel like Vince is kind of like, let me show AEW that I can do what they do, but do it better? Don't you think that's what he's trying to do here?
It might be, because also if you want people to stay or people to come to WWE in the future, you really want to have the first big guy coming over to have that. But I do think Lashley's going to. I think Lashley will come out on Monday again and look face Reigns. To face Reigns. I really think that'll happen.
Really?
If Lesnar's gone. If Lesnar's going to be here for another month or two, then it'll be Lesnar. But if not, it's Lashley. Oh, for sure. He beat Almost. Almost is huge.
That's true. That's going to be, I mean, they are going to really play that up. That's going to be one of the things that the WWE is really, really, really going to play up. Chris, I have one quick question for you before we close up shop here. Will you pop back in on anything wrestling, right? Did you do this just because we asked you to do this and you love podcasting, or do you think you'll find yourself checking back in because of what you've been exposed to now?
No, I think I'll definitely be checking back in, especially on what does McAfee do? Thursday nights?
Fridays.
Friday.
He does Friday.
I love you. Yeah.
So I'll probably be checking in more on Friday nights for sure.
All right. Well, this has been a fun weekend, a very long weekend, and a very late Saturday or Sunday night, early Monday morning for us. So by the time you hear this, it'll be, well, in about, I'd say 25 minutes or so. We're really looking forward to Monday night. The Raw after WrestleMania has not been very good the last few years, but this year I think it's going to be a little bit bigger. You will hear from us next week. After Raw and SmackDown, we'll kind of see where we're going after WrestleMania here. We've got Morgan, Balls and Brew. We've got some golf, I believe. Masters. There's no really big storylines with the Masters, is there, Rod?
No, not at all. There's not something that the Morgan Podcasting Network is focused on basically the entire time of our existence. No, he's not thinking about playing in the Masters. We got nothing to talk about with that.
And then we have Survivor, the episodes that we have. Come on in. They're fantastic. You two do a great job with that. If you're a Survivor fan, it's a nice little preview. On the ride home from work, getting ready for the new show. We'll have that out this week, and then we've got a huge Morgan coming up, but we'll save information on that coming up here in a couple weeks.
I'll tease it this way. Music fans, keep your ears open.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. Rod, what are you hot about?
You know what I'm hot about? I'm hot about how 3 to 4 year ago Rod would be completely stunned at the occurrences of this weekend. I had the Final Four and I had the Grammys, and I didn't check in on either because I spent all of my time watching WrestleMania and a Hall of Fame ceremony for the dead man, and I loved every second of it. Wrestling for life, baby.
Chris, it's all you.
Goodbye, Internet.